Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to spend some time using trig ratios to find out missing angles and missing sides. So first I'm giving you a triangle, and notice it's a right triangle. So we can use a trig ratio since it does have a 90-degree angle in it. Now I'm giving you angle B is 24.5 degrees, and I'm also giving you a side of 258. But that's all I'm giving you. So how I like going about this is I like to go and put down angle A, which are the big letters, A, B, and C. And then what I like to do is I like to come over and I like to do my sides, which are lower letters, which is little a, little b, and little c. So now let's look at the right triangle. Okay, first and foremost, angle B, we do know it's 24.5. And the 90-degree angle is always our C, or our angle C, which is 90 degrees. So it looks like we need to find angle A. Now let's look at the sides. Opposite of A is little a. That is, we don't know that yet. Opposite of big B, which is little b, we don't know that one yet. But opposite of big C, or angle C, is 258. Now, so one of the number one questions I get asked is, where do I start at? Well, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. We can find angle A, we can find side A or side B. It doesn't matter the order you find it in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find angle A because I think that's the easiest one to find. And that's merely because the right triangle or any triangle has 180 degrees. So by having C being 90, that means there's 90 degrees left to split between A and B. So all you need to do is to find big A is to take 90, subtract 24.5, and what you come up to be is 65.5 degrees. So I'm going to just come back up here and I'm going to fill in big A at 65.5 degrees. I'm going to put a little box around it to say that I did solve this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find little a. Now you can find little b, it does not matter. I'm going to just find little a. So what I want us to do is let's look at, go back up here to our triangle. So I said I'm going to find little a. So that means I'm going to use the angle given, which is 24.5. I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to set it equal to, okay, now, if I'm trying to find little a, which is, I'm going to circle it right here, little a is adjacent to B. Adjacent. Now, the measurement 258 is our hypotenuse, or that's our little c. So I'm going to put it right here. So adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. Now we need to come up with a way to solve for little a. Well, just in math, what we can do is to solve for a, we can multiply by 258 on both sides, because now the 258s cancel. So that means a equals 258 cosine of 24.5 degrees. Now, putting this in your calculator, you can just put it in 258 cosine of 24.5 if you have a graphing calculator. Make sure your mode, and you'll see a mode on your graphing calculator, make sure it's in degrees. And if you do this calculation correctly, you should come up with $235. So I'm going to come back right up here and I'm going to put 235 that we found. And notice I'm rounding everything. It's 235 because my measurement of my angle has got 3 significant digits. So does a 235. Okay, next. I'm going to find little b. Okay, now to find little b, if we go back up to our triangle, little b, and I'm going to use the same 24.5 degrees, the opposite of big B is little b, so that's opposite still over the hypotenuse now. So opposite over hypotenuse, so I'm going to use my same 24.5. And I'm going to set it equal to b over my 258. So this time, like I said, it's opposite over hypotenuse. That is our sine function. Now we're going to do the exact same way what we did to find out from our little a. So I'm going to multiply by 258 on both sides, because I want the 258s to cancel. What's left is b equals 258 sine of 24.5. And if you do your calculations correctly, now those that have got the just a scientific calculator, what I would advise us to do for the scientific calculator is do 24.5, then sine, and then whatever answer you get, multiply by 258. And I come up with roughly 107. Now, these are my 3 measurements. Now, my step number 4, I'm going to put to the side right here, because step number 4 is just a way to check my work. So, since this is a right triangle, we can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, for my a squared, 235 squared. My b is 107 squared equals c squared. So 235 squared, I get 55. So I get 55, 225 plus, now 107 squared is 11, and then I got 449, and that equals c squared. Add these together, and you should come up with 66,674 is c squared. So to find my c now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the square root. So c in what I have comes out to be 258.21, which three significant figures, it's my 258. Same as what I was given to you. So this is how you would solve any side measurements and even the missing, in this case, angle A. So my second example using this is I'm giving us another triangle. Now, what I would advise us to do is maybe pause it and work it out just like how I showed you, and then unpause it and see if you come up with what I get. Okay. Example number 2. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to still do my A, B, and C for my angles, and my little a, little b, and little c for my sides. And all I'm going to do is start filling in the blanks that I know. So this time I am given my angle A at 52.3 degrees. Now my big C is 90 degrees. Now, let's look at the sides. Opposite big A is little a right here. That's 29.7. My big B opposite is little b, I do not know. Big C opposite is little c, I do not know. So now I need to find out, in this example, what my angle B and my sides little b and little c are. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to find my big B. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 90, subtract 52.3, and I come up with 37.7 degrees. So in red, I'm going to come up here, and my big B or my angle B is 37.7 degrees. Now, this leaves me now to find either little b or little c. It does not matter which one you go at. I'm going to find little b first. But if any one of you all want to find little c and then little b next, feel free to. So little b. So if I go back and scroll up here, little b, and if I use my 52.3, my 52.3 equals, now let's look at, I'm trying to find little b, but I'm given little a. So big A, this is opposite 29.7 over, okay, my little b, which is adjacent. Opposite over adjacent is tangent. Okay. Next, I need to solve for little b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and multiply by little b. And I know some of us are saying, okay, Those cancel each other out. But remember, if you multiply one side, you have to do it to the other. So my little b comes back up on the other side of the equal sign. So now what I'm left with is b tangent of 52.3 equals 29.7. Now, this is just like any kind of solving for an equation. What I'm going to do now is to solve for little b, I'm going to take tangent of 52.3 and divide it on both sides. And the reason why is because these cancel out, and I get b equals 29.7 over tangent of 52.3. Now, the trick on this is going to be what kind of calculators you have and how to plug them in. Those with graphing calculators, what I would do is I would put 29.7 divided by and put tangent of 52.3 in parentheses. Those with a scientific calculator, what I would probably do is do like something like 52.3, hit your tangent. Okay, that's how you're going to enter this in at the bottom. So what I would do is to take 29.7, divide it by, and then do in parentheses, put in 52.3, then tangent, hit enter, and you should come up for little b, you should get 22.95. Now, if you're looking for significant digits, go back to our triangle, 29.7, and then our angle 52.3, they have 3 significant. So what I'm looking at is that 9. So does that 9 go up or stay the same? Well, if you look at the 5, it goes up. So that 9 turns into a 0 or a 10, and you carry the 1. So this comes out to be 23.0 evenly. So I'm going to put 23.0. I'm going to box it, and I need to box the 37.7. Those are the measurements I found so far. So now finally, I need to find little c. I'm still going to use my angle, or angle 52.3. But now what I'm doing is I'm trying to find little c. So if I go back up here, 29.7 is opposite. C is hypotenuse. Opposite hypotenuse, that is my sine. So opposite is 29.7 over my hypotenuse. And opposite over hypotenuse is my sine. Next, I'm going to still do it the same way. Since c's on the bottom, multiply. You cancel them out. If you multiply on one side, you have to do it to the other. So that leaves me c times sine 52.3 equals 29.7. Then all I'm going to do is I'm going to divide to solve for c. If you want to, make sure those are in parentheses. Depending on the calculator, you should come up with my little c comes out to be 37.53. 3 significant figures, 37.5. Step 4, all I'm going to do is to check my work by using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, now my a is 29.7 squared plus b squared is 23.0 squared equals c squared. If I square 29.7 and 23 and square it and add them up, you should get something like 1411.09 equals c squared. Then take the square root. C equals 37.56, which is equivalent to the 37.5 that we have. The reason why this is a little off, it's not by much, it's just because of rounding. So this concludes the first part of my trig ratios. Next, look for my trig ratios part 2. Thank you very much.